Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Hey guys, welcome in and a happy Monday to you now. It is February the 13th, and we have finally said goodbye to the NFL and football, and we are now a month away from this thing known as Selection Sunday. So it is college basketball on our minds, and pretty interesting card tonight. Some big names on the slate. It is crunch time in college hoops in a lot of conferences with a whole lot of teams, and we'll see if we can make heads or tails of what's going on here tonight, and we'll do it with three of the most profitable over at WagerTalk.com. Today, as we welcome the Monday crew, Drew Martin in the house, ready to roll here to start off the week, as is R1L Merrill. Steve Merrill, in fact, ready to go here, and of course, from an undisclosed location somewhere in the world, we got Jimmy Adams back in the house, ready to go here today. Gentlemen, hope it was a great football season all around, but to hell with them. Don't want to talk about them again until at least the draft. Until that time, we got plenty of college basketball to focus on here, Drew. It is a $9 Monday, which means best bets are $9. And Drew Martin knows a little something about those best bets on a 6-0 college hoops run right now. So, Drew, tell us what is up and available over at WagerTalk.com here.
Yeah, Joe, $9 Monday. Got a big bet up for just $9. And like you talked about, yeah, this weekend was good in college basketball. So looking to get another winner tonight. And we're talking three good games here on the slate. So excited to break down these three games with you. And bringing up Monday, February 13th here, the day after the Super Bowl, Joe, I still don't know how some politician hasn't made this a national holiday, man. This needs to be a holiday. I feel like that would be a good thing to run off of. But anyway, we're breaking down three good games. So happy to be on with you, buddy.
Yeah, no, it was a fun and exciting season for sure, but hard to believe we are a month away from Selection Sunday. So, Merrill, there must be something you've got locked and loaded for a $9 Monday over at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, first of all, we could make the Super Bowl Saturday, and then we wouldn't have that problem. But then, it's a slippery slope, Drew Martin, because then what happens on March Madness on the Monday when the bracket comes out? Because that's apparently the least efficient workday in all of the year, sports-wise, more so than the hangover from the Super Bowl. So it's a slippery slope, but I'm with you. Maybe make President's Day the day after the Super Bowl. That would be the solution, in my opinion. I heard somebody mention that. In fact, I think my son Daniel actually mentioned that yesterday, so I thought that was pretty smart. Yeah, look. I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. You make money with basketball this time of the year. It's official now. You're not going to make any more money with the NFL in February. We made some money yesterday. We had a nice Super Bowl, but the basketball is where the money is. I'm up over 42 units the last 5 weeks alone, and I've got two strong best bets. And as you said, Joe, it is $9 Monday. Be sure to let Rob Vino know that. He can sometimes not always do the math. Jimmy and Drew are better with it, but every best bet, $9, WagerTalk.com.
Absolutely. And Jimmy, we've got a nice card, not only in college basketball, full loaded slate in the NBA as well. So what do you got ready to roll there at Wager Talk on a $9 Monday?
Yeah, Joe, a lot going on. So I have a best bet in college basketball. You can grab a free play in the NBA, but the bosses put together a fantastic deal. Me and Andrew McGinnis have teamed up. You can get every single one of our plays, including 5%ers, over the next 2 weeks for just $7 a day. It's an unbelievable deal. I know Andrew's been red hot, one of the best NHL cappers out there. You're getting every sport from both of us for the next 2 weeks, $7 a day. It's a fantastic deal. Go grab that at WagerTalk, and let's have a great show.
All right, let's do it then. Plenty of ways to get back some of that money that may not have come through on the coin flip last night. So we'll start in the Big 12 here with West Virginia taking on Baylor. The Baylor Bears laying 6.5. Total starting to come down here a little bit. 148.5 is the number in this one. Certainly a different Baylor Bears team than what was just, 30 days ago. They have been rolling. West Virginia just got boat raced against Texas there. Back on the road in Waco. Not an easy place here to win a game. Drew, what do you think we get from these two teams tonight?
Yeah, Joe, Baylor is red hot right now. You brought up the fact, 30 days ago, not being the same team. Well, they're healthy right now, Joe. They're 9-1 their last 10. They're 8-2 their last 10 against the spread. So I'm not looking to step in front of the Baylor Bears here, the number one offensive efficiency team in the country. These two teams played about a month ago, Joe. 83-78 was the final in that one, a competitive game. The total was 150 there. And I brought up the side, Baylor minus 6.5 here. If you need a side bet, that's the way I would go. It's just this West Virginia team, Joe, I know you know the Big 12 very well, and it's a team I can't really pinpoint sidewise. Sometimes they show up and play really well, and their ceiling's very high. I could see them making a run in March Madness, and then sometimes, like on Saturday, they got blown out, 94-60 to Texas? One thing I have noticed with the Mountaineers, Joe, 17-8 over-under record on the season. They've been an over wagon, meaning 17 overs, only 8 unders, guys. I like kind of betting those trends here. And with Baylor's offense, how good they are, Joe, I think this total at 148.5 right now, I think it's too short. I think both of these two teams could get in the 80s tonight. I like it up and over West Virginia and Baylor.
Such a weird game, the first one they played as well, Drew. They dropped, they only had 60 combined, I think, in the first half of that game, but they had 25 points in the final 2 minutes because it became Foul Fest USA, which makes betting unders. Whew, good luck with that one. How about you, Merrill? How are you looking at this one?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, there were 69 free throw attempts in that meeting back on January 11th. Almost exactly a little over a month ago. So it's a revenge spot. That's something we talk about in February. One of the reasons I love handicapping college hoops in the month of February is we get a lot of second meeting revenge spots. We get all these conference games now under our belt. The stats are pretty meaningful. But revenge works better normally with the better team and home court. Now, West Virginia was at home and lost that game. So the better team is at home without revenge here in Baylor. So it kind of keeps me off the side. As far as the total, the game was at 60 at the half. It was 33-27 Baylor. So it was on a pace to stay well under the 149.5. And as you said, Joe, a foul fest down the stretch. Teams also took 47 three-point attempts. Baylor hit 39. West Virginia hit 33.5. So shooting was pretty darn good. There was only 7 and 10 turnovers by each team. So it was almost a perfect over scenario. So not surprised to see a little bit of the money coming on the under. It opened 149.5. It's now down to 148, 148.5. I think the money to the under is probably the way to play it.
All right, looking at the under here. Jimmy, how about you with the Baylor Bears? I can never bet West Virginia on the road, but I don't know. Is this something you want to get behind in a bounce back?
All right. So look, it's real hard to step in front of this Baylor team that's won 9 of 10, right? And 12-2 in Waco. The Bears now, they're making a push for the Big 12 crown, and they already beat West Virginia by 5 in Morgantown. That total fell on a 161. It's doubtful we're going to see a much lower scoring game here, in my opinion, with the Bears at home. West Virginia off that embarrassing 34-point loss to Texas, a game where they had 20 turnovers, and Bob Huggins has been all over this team about it. The Mountaineers, they had won 4 of 5 prior to that game, and there's no doubt we're going to get a big effort out of them here. If we look at the first meeting, Joe, there were 69 foul shots taken. Obviously, those foul shots are going to stop the clock. And the Bears are a very good free throw shooting team, coming in at 44th in the nation in that category. Waco's no doubt going to be rocking, and West Virginia is going to need to score to keep up. Both these teams rank in the top 60 nationally in points per game. I think we're going to see this one go up and over the total.
All right, no, up and over here in this one tonight. Baylor taking on West Virginia. So from the Big 12, we'll head over to the ACC, where an interesting matchup here. The first time, actually, between these two teams this year, as North Carolina is going to be hosting the U. Jim Larinaga and the fellas are on their way to Chapel. 155.5 is the total. Been an interesting year for North Carolina, to say the least. They did win it last year. I think they only played once last season, and Miami ended up winning that game. They have not played so far. Ranked team on the road versus an unranked team who's laying points. It's an interesting spot, Drew. How would you approach this one tonight?
Yeah, Joe, it's almost like it's the market telling us something, and that's exactly what I thought about before, kind of going big on the Hurricanes in this game, because I do think Miami stays within 5.5 here. Jim Larinaga, they're 20-5 overall on the season, Joe, and winning 4 straight games. They're playing really good basketball. They got Wong; he's a great player. UNC, you talked about it a little bit. 3-4. They've lost actually 3 of their last 4. 8-17 against the spread on the season. So they've been a money burner. I don't really like betting that type of profile. Plus the fact, I don't know, laying points here against this Miami team, that doesn't interest me. UNC is 12-1 at home, and Miami just 6-5 on the road. So that makes me pump the brakes on the Canes as well. Overall, Joe, I didn't bet this one. Great game here in the ACC, but if you made me bet it, I would be on the Canes.
All right. If you're going on the Canes, I mean, it's some would argue here, Merrill, that maybe that conference road record of Miami is what's allowing you to get them at a pretty discounted price here. I mean, after all, it's not like North Carolina can drop a bunch of threes on you because they haven't all year. So where is the value in this game to you?
Well, I keep waiting to see if there's value with North Carolina. Keep in mind, this is the team that probably should have won the national title. They obviously could have won that Kansas game last year and went down to the wire. They blew the lead, but they were an 8 seed. Right? So that means they were anywhere from 29th to 32nd, theoretically, in the tournament last year. Right now, if you look at the KenPom rankings, they are exactly 32nd, which means they would once again, they'd be a 9 seed right now. So, this is basically where they were when they almost won the national championship last year. The difference, of course, is that they came in as the number 1 ranked team this season. They vastly underperformed. I talked to someone this weekend that's actually close to the North Carolina program, and they said there's a lot of dissension in the locker room. Couple players in particular, a little girlfriend issue, by the way. So that's, maybe why there's been some tension. These guys have not played up to the potential. Despite that, I actually had a strong best bet on North Carolina Saturday for my clients at WagerTalk.com. I thought it was a spot to get one of the most talented teams in the country here off of 3 losses in a focused situation. And they won that game impressively by 20 against Clemson. So maybe that was the buy sign. Another thing I'll point out, Brian Power mentioned this earlier today on Wager Talk Today, and I know he's been talking about it all season. It's something I have tracked as well. I do my college basketball top 25 video, and I do my NFL Fade the Public videos. If the two of them had a video child, Joe Ranieri, it would be Brian's theory, which is these unranked favorites against ranked teams have done very well, like 70% this season. That also favors North Carolina. And like Drew said, it almost seems like the market is begging you to take Miami. I don't want to use the word trap game because we don't like that term, but some of the consensus I'm looking at is 60, 65%, even higher on Miami. So I don't do a lot with Fade the Public in college hoops until March Madness. But this is a contrarian call on North Carolina. And if they play up to the potential, they are one of the best teams in the country. So maybe that's the buy sign on Saturday, and we'll take the contrarian call with UNC minus 5.5.
Yeah, that streak is unranked home favorites versus ranked opponents. 26-12 this year, just close to 70%. Does that continue here tonight there, Jimmy? Are you back in North Carolina to get it done?
I am not, Joe. I think this line's headed in the wrong direction. Look, I understand North Carolina's off their big win against Clemson over the weekend. Good spot for them. But I'm not ready to step in front of a Hurricane squad that's been playing some really good basketball. I mean, UNC had still lost 3 of 4, and prior to that game, and Miami's hot. They're winners of 4 straight, including a 22-point trashing of Duke. They went on the road and beat the same Clemson team. I think the markets partially are looking at the quote rebounding advantage, but Miami's been much better on the boards as of late. They said the same thing. I gave out Miami on this show last week when they played Duke. They said the same thing in that game. The U goes and wins that rebounding battle 38-31. They out rebounded Clemson by 10 and, of course, won the battle against Louisville as well. And this Miami offense can flat out score 18th in field goal percentage. They can shoot the 3 ball as well. And we all know how abysmal UNC is from beyond the arc. Look, Tar Heels 1-4 in their last 5 overall. And Miami has absolutely no trouble going on the road. If you want to look at trends, they're 21-6 against the spread in their last 27 road games against the numbers. So I know the markets are doing something, but I'm taking the Hurricanes, Joe.
Better shooting team. Miami doesn't turn the ball over, getting 2 possessions. It's an interesting spot here, guys. Miami taking on UNC in a big ACC battle. We do have to go back to the Big 12, though, because there is another monster game tonight, one in which the Texas Tech Red Raiders got at home welcoming in the Longhorns here. 4 is the number I'm seeing for Texas. 146 is the total. I believe this is a game at 9 o'clock Eastern time. 5th-ranked Texas Longhorns. They've won 3 of their last 4. We just told you guys earlier that that beating of West Virginia was hard to watch here. Tech, though, they snapped that 2-game losing streak. They had a nice win over Kansas State. They were a 2-point home favorite, got it done. I don't know. What do we do here, Drew? I mean, here we go. Ranked favorite. I'm coming to Texas Tech. Can Texas Tech do the unthinkable and beat Texas here?
Joe, I think they can. Will they? I'm not 100% sure. Sidewise here, Texas laying the 4. And, the Big 12 conference, in my opinion, Joe, is the best conference in college basketball this season. And Texas is sitting at the top. So we got to give the Longhorns some respect here. They're 9-3 in the Big 12, 20-5 on the year, and they scored 94 points like you talked about last time out. So I'm not really looking to step in front of Texas here, even though the spot I think kind of looks towards the Red Raiders here, particularly being in Lubbock. They are just 2-10 in the Big 12, but catching some points, being at home. And you talked about, this Red Raiders team, guys. Keep in mind, one of the best ways, in my opinion, to make money in sports betting is finding these teams that are bad, where the market has kind of thrown them out, and they just go from being bad to like decent. That's a great way to make money in college basketball. And sure enough, the Red Raiders, yes, just 2-10 in conference. However, have won 4 of their last 5 against the spread. But even more so, Joe, their offense here, 4 of their last 5 have gone to the over as well. Both teams combining 16-9 to the over. That's 64% overs. So seeing this 145.5 as the total, Joe, I think that's the way to play this game, this Lone Star State battle. Big 12 conference overs have been money. I'm going to bet another one here. Texas Tech to the over tonight, Joe.
All right. Well, there you go. Expecting some points. We did see this earlier this season, and it was a close one, too. I think Texas ended up winning at home, but by barely a bucket. But I do believe there's injury concerns for Tech here with their leader on the court there, Pop Isaacs. I believe he missed that game, the last game, and he's probably thankful. But he missed that game, and now he's questionable for tonight. So he did drop, I believe, 23 on Texas last time they played here. So what do you think about the Red Raiders' chances of breaking through on this one?
I think it's a good setup. I mean, you've got a quality team at home with the revenge motive. And once again, that was a competitive loss, as you mentioned. That game back on January 14th, a month ago, was a 2-point loss as an 8-point dog. They actually, don't forget, led that game by 9 points outright at halftime. So there was nothing misleading by losing by 2. They could have definitely won that game outright. The concern, if you have one, is both teams made 8 threes, but Texas only shot 28.5%. But they did rely on the 3 more. And in fact, Texas Tech only shot 40% for the game and still lost by only 2. So I think that's a positive overall, and it's a sign that they can hang in this one. And once again, we get a live dog at home, a good team at home. on the season, 10-4 straight up on this home court. And Texas coming off, meanwhile, the impressive blowout of West Virginia. And they've got another home game on deck this Saturday against Oklahoma. So this could be a little bit of a sandwich letdown spot as well.
So it's hard to believe, right? A team that's won 2 conference games, Jimmy, and we're trying to debate if they're even going to be, they have a chance of winning this game against, a team that's vying for a number 1 seed in the tournament. So what do you think here? It just goes to show you how competitive the Big 12 is.
Yeah, I just think it's a dangerous game for Texas, despite like how good we all know they are. Texas Tech is always ready to step up in a game when UT comes to town, right? That was evidenced by they had a 2-point loss when these teams met earlier in Austin. Tech's feeling pretty good about themselves, fresh off a 8-point win over a pretty good Kansas State team, right? They're now 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. You look at this Texas offense, we all know how good it is. We all know how dominating they can be. But for some reason, the Red Raiders know how to hang with this team. And laying points in this rivalry in Lubbock, it just seems pretty dangerous. Tech's been forcing turnovers. K-State wasn't the only elite team that they've taken down at home lately. They also beat Iowa State when they came to Lubbock. The underdog's 10-4 in the last 14 meetings between these two schools. That cashed in I think it has a chance to cash here as well. It's probably not a game I'll be playing, but if I am, it has to be with Tech.
Gotta go with Tech here in this one. It is a dangerous spot for sure for Texas, and there's a number of games like that across the card here tonight in college hoops. But let's check out if there is a game that these guys may like a little bit more than the rest for a best bet. And Drew, we'll bring it over to you. Drew's riding that 6-0 college basketball run right now. $9 best bet is available at his page at WagerTalk.com tonight. Which game here, Drew, do you like for the show?
I'm heading to prime time, 9 p.m. Eastern here tonight in the Lone Star State Battle, Joe. It's on ESPN, by the way, the game we just talked about. Texas Tech. Red Raiders 4 of the last 5 to the over. Texas just scored 94 points last time out, and both teams combined in 64% overs on the season. Modest total here, Joe, mid-140s. This gets up and over Texas and Texas Tech tonight.
Boom, expecting the points coming down there. Merrill, how about you, man? Which one of these games you looking at tonight?
I'm going to go a little bit off the board in honor of our friend Ralph Michaels, since he's not on today on Monday, Joe. We're going to look at a game well off the 300s. In fact, a team involving the 354th worst team out of 363, and that's Delaware State at Norfolk State. I'll be going to the Tribe tonight against Towson, but this game's right down the road. Not a game that's worth watching. Surprisingly, not on national TV, but the under between Delaware State and Norfolk State does have some value tonight. One of the reasons Delaware State is so awful is they're 354th overall because they're the 353rd worst offensive team in the country. And even with that, they actually shot the ball well in the first meeting this season, at least by their standards. They hit 35% from 3, but they were just 39% from the field because they could not score down low at home against Norfolk State, who's actually not a good defensive team. Norfolk State is actually decent offensively, but they shot 44% of the meeting earlier this year back in January. I don't think that happens again. That first game, by the way, totaled 143 with that high shooting percentage. Last year, they hit about 140. So it's always been around this range, but that is misleading, and that's why this total is a little too high. We've seen some sharp money also coming on this total. That's also something that catches my eye on the extra board. Open 142. It's down to 138.5. But I think there's some value still with the under between Delaware State and Norfolk State at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight on Monday on the extra board. I do have a strong spotlight big college basketball best bet and also an NBA best bet. And by the way, number 1 ranked in 2023 in the NBA in win percentage right now at WagerTalk.com, and number 2 combined in college and pro basketball sides combined. I've got 2 of them going tonight, and they're both $9 because it's $9 Monday, plus a bonus NBA free play on my page right now. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All right, good stuff there, Merrill. Let's get one tonight here, Jimmy. Best bets loaded $9 over at your page at Wager Talk. What do you got for a best bet here with us?
Best bet up and available tonight in college hoops. Free play in the NBA, and I have that package going on with Andrew that you can get over to. Best bet for the show is going to be the U. We're rolling with the Hurricanes I think this line's headed in the wrong direction. North Carolina, they got their good win over Clemson over the weekend. They've still lost 3 of 4, and they're running into a really hot Miami team that's won 4 straight. They beat Duke by 22, dominated them on the boards. We talked about that. UNC may win the rebounding battle here, but the Hurricanes have been doing such a better job on the boards. Other than dominating Duke, they dominated Clemson. They beat Louisville on the boards. And we know about this offense, right? I'll repeat it: 18th in field goal percentage. They can shoot the threes, and the trend 21-6 against the spread in their last 27 road games. Give me the Hurricanes to cover tonight.
All right, let's get it. Hurricanes and our good friends over at thegoldsheet.com. They've got themselves a play tonight, and they are going to look at a total as well. Morgan State, South Carolina State is who they're going to focus on. They like the over here, and they said, the first meeting saw 175 points. Why not this one, right? Both teams are top 50 in the country in adjusted tempo. South Carolina State's defense, actually the worst in the country in 2-point defense and effective field goal percentage. When you put all that together, the over looks like exactly where thegoldsheet.com thinks this game is going to go. And, of course, we encourage you guys to head over to goldsheet.com. Check out the write-ups for all the games they got rolling there. And, of course, great information, great data, analytics, all at your disposal, guys. Visit goldsheet.com today. All right, I am going to go, and there's going to be, I got a lot of friends here for this school that are not going to like this pick. But I can tell you right now, you can kiss my arse, Hofstra. I ain't laying 10 with you in no way, shape, or form. Give me Drexel to get it done as they slow this game down to a crawl. I think 304th, 305th. In tempo. Not a very fast team here. They are traveling to Long Island to take them on, but it was 10. It's starting to creep down now, 9.5. So I will take as many as you want. I think this is an absolute flat spot for Hofstra. I think Drexel keeps this game way closer than anybody at the Hofstra Pride alumni want here tonight. So that's where I'm going. And to recap it one more time, Drew Martin, Texas Tech, Texas. Guys, expect a game. Should be fun. 145.5 is the total. Drew is going over that. Delaware State, Norfolk State. Unlike Texas Tech, Texas, this one ain't going to be fun. It's going under 138.5 for Steve Merrill tonight. Jimmy says, give him the U, man. 5.5. He gets the better team on the road against North Carolina. He'll take those points. I'm going to take the points with Drexel tonight, and our good friends at Gold Sheet, well, they like Morgan State, South Carolina State. Now, that is going to be some fun stuff there. Over 154.5. And, of course, it is $9 Monday, which means if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you've got these guys ready for it. $9 best bets. Drew Martin, he's got one up there. Jimmy Adams, Steve Merrill, all three guys locked and loaded on a $9 Monday. No reason for you not to go grab those bets for $9 and make it a very profitable post-football season. It begins tonight. And, of course, we'll be back again tomorrow. More college hoops for you here. But until then, on behalf of Drew, Steve Merrill, and Jimmy Adams, we appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with all those plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.